Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio. And welcome back to Depictions Media, everyone. So, I'm just curious, has anyone been paying attention to what is going on and being said in the news about the Trans Mountain Pipeline? Well, if you have, you probably have seen that Alberta is, of course, this is coming from Alberta, and more specifically probably Calgary, where it was reported in the National Post in the financial section that there will be pipe in the ground towards the Trans Mountain Pipeline by Christmas. Now, I'm going to say this does not mean that the pipe is actually going. It still has to get across Alberta and get across before it can hit British Columbia, and of course get to the Burrard Inlet, in where it will start to fill the tanker ships to be sent. I'm assuming towards China or someplace like that for refining, and of course the product the gasoline product will be sent back to Canada for fuel. Now, there's a bigger article and blog post that's going to appear on depictions.media about this. Also, there are way more uses for gasoline besides just fueling our cars. In case if you wear nylon, well, if you wear nylon, one of the basic components in nylon, of course, is gasoline. There's a process of turning gasoline into the nylon fiber, which it gets spun, refined into the clothing that we wear, or seat belts, many other products that fiber products that we actually use nylon for. So one of the issues with the tar sands, of course, the bitumen is heavy and hard to refine into gasoline, and that's one of the really big steps is, of course, getting the crude oil into gasoline so that it's usable for other things that we actually use within our society. A lot of that gasoline doesn't even make it to the pumps for us to put into our cars. Most of it winds up into other industries or into areas where it's used to thin lubricants, create other things that we actually use in other areas. So it's something to be considered with this, that maybe if Alberta was to partially refine the product, making it easier to be turned into gasoline and integrated in other things, they might actually be able to sell more of it. Food for thought on that one. So before building this structure of a pipeline the way they are, so that they can actually pipe more of the bitumen out of Alberta to increase their gross product sales, it may be better considered to actually refine the bitumen in Alberta into a intermediate product that can be turned into gasoline or other things, other types of plastics and things like that, and they'll be able to sell more of it. Which is something that I don't think has never been at least discussed publicly, so that we as a public, we can have an opinion about this. So more or less, reason why I'm broadcasting this to begin with is because we need to pay attention to what is actually going on and look the gift horse in the mouth and see if it really is a good horse for us as a country. I'm not going to say one way or the other. You need to decide this for yourself. You need to actually go out there and find the information and decide, hey, how is this actually going to better Canada on the whole? How is this going to make it better for my own community, that we have more tax dollars to spend, the government has more money to spend to make Canada a better place? Where's all this going to happen? How's this going to go? And ask the questions of the public officials in your community. Where is this going to go? Before we say, yay, we have a new pipeline. Yay, we have more people buying our oil sands oil, our tar sands oil. Before we start jumping for joy and celebrating all this, we need to get more answers about what the real benefits are versus what the risks are, and research things like the impact on the wildlife, the orcas. Is it going to intersect with their migration path? Is it going to affect the caribou runs as it goes across British Columbia? What about, for those who are in British Columbia, what about the forest? It needs to be chopped down in order for them to run the pipeline. And how long is it going to take to regrow that forest so that it becomes usable for British Columbia to use for softwood products that British Columbia does sell a lot of? There's other things that need to be impacted. What about the indigenous communities across the path of this pipeline? How is their drinking water going to be affected? How is salmon migrations and things like that going to be affected? There are lots of questions that need to be that have never been answered and need to be answered before they actually really push completely forward with this project. So get out there, do the research, and ask the questions of the public officials so they know that we all are concerned. And thank you for listening, and I will see you next time on Depictions Media. This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.